It foretold it first in direct prophecy. I'll pick the book of Isaiah. Isaiah 7 through 12 is the book of Emmanuel. And in 7, he says, a woman of marriageable age who's assumed to be a virgin is going to conceive and bear a son, and his name will be Emmanuel, God with us. Well, that might be capable of multiple meanings, but then 2 chapters later, chapter 9, he says there'll be one coming along whose goings forth have been from before, who's wonderful counselor, mighty God, everlasting Father, the Prince of Peace. And it's this child. Unto us a son is born, unto us a child is given. The book of Micah, written at the same time, says this child's going to be born in Bethlehem, in the land of Judah, whose goings forth are from of old, from everlasting. The prophet Zechariah comes along and says, and he's going to ride into Jerusalem on a colt, the foal of a donkey, and he's going to be sold for 30 pieces of silver. And you're saying, why all of that's there? I think God told the story over time so that when the event happened, people could look back and say, this is the one God told us he was coming. God also predicted the future at times in picture form, in typology. So he offers the sacrificial system and has sacrifices that take away the sin, so to speak, cover the sin over. And the Day of Atonement would come along where they could somehow have their sins covered for that year, but it all pointed toward the ultimate Lamb of God who would take away the sins of the world. And some might question that, and yet I would say, well, even Isaiah 53 uses that sacrificial imagery of sacrifices to point to that ultimate one. So whether it's by picture, whether it's directly, God wanted to point the way forward to show Jesus. Why he gave prophecy was to give hope. In difficult days, a prophet like Daniel came along when the Jews are scattered among the nations and wanted to remind them God was still in charge and he was working out his program. We can trust him even in difficult days. So there was incredible hope and intensity, if you will, in the prophets to remind us in difficult days that God is working a plan and we can trust him.